Hello and welcome to our live stream review of Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. This is going to be a spoiler review. You know who we all are, you know the routine. So let's get started. This was right up there with Evil Dead Rise as my most anticipated movie of the year. Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man movie, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I was anticipating this movie something fierce. After dealing with constant delays thanks to the pandemic, I finally got to see the movie last night. And did it live up to the hype? Hell fucking yeah, it did. Where do I even start? First off, the animation is stunning. Into the Spider-Verse already had beautiful animation, but this tops it. I love all the blends and the uniqueness of the styles they use. I love how Spider-Gwen's universe looks with all the different watercolors and the backgrounds changes with whatever emotion she's feeling. This is easily one of the best looking animated movies I have ever seen. Acting from everyone is spectacular once again. Shameik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Jake Johnson, knock it out of the park once again. As Miles, Gwen, and Peter B. Parker. Carnsoni and Daniel Kaluuya were hilarious as Spider-Man Indy and Spider-Punk. Issa Rae was great as Spider-Woman. And Oscar Isaac was awesome as Spider-Man 2099. I don't know much about the character, so I'm sure he's portrayed a little differently as he is in the comics, but I liked how he was in this movie. He was a very interesting character, and he was very intimidating. Jason Schwartzman was hilarious as the Spot, and I love how he starts off as a joke and he slowly becomes more intimidating. And I can't wait to see how he is in the next movie. The characters go through great arcs, especially Miles and Gwen. I love the long opening sequence with Gwen in her universe fighting the Vulture. The score is fantastic. This movie is hilarious. I found myself laughing at so many jokes. I loved all the Easter eggs and callbacks to previous Spider-Man lore, like when we saw Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and the Spectacular Spider-Man, because that show kicks ass. It's extremely well paced. Not once did I feel the runtime. Not once was I bored because I was so invested in the story and the characters. The third act is tense and a lot of fun, with all the Spider people chasing Miles all throughout the station, and the big reveal of Miles ending up in the wrong universe. And Spider-Man doesn't exist, and he becomes the Prowler. I did not see that coming. Do I have any issues with this movie? Honestly, no. This is just a brilliant film, and it's like with Into the Spider-Verse, this is a love letter to Spider-Man fans. I can't say it's better than Into the Spider-Verse. I can't say it's better than Spider-Man 2, but it is one of my favorite Spider-Man movies. I can see this being in a top spot of my favorite movies of the year, and I cannot wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse. And my rating, a 10 out of 10. John?
Well, first I would like to apologize to all the Spider-Man 2099 fans who watched this. Sorry. Much like everyone else here, this was one of my most anticipated films of the year. Of course, there was some skepticism because you never know if they would be able to rekindle the magic of the first one. But in this case, they managed to meet and exceed my expectations for this film. The entire voice cast does a brilliant job once again for those returning, in addition to the ones where this is their first feature. The returning cast includes Shameik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Jake Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, Luna Lauren Velez, Mahershala Ali, Kimiko Glenn, and kind of Oscar Isaac since he was in the post-credit scene of the original. All do a brilliant job, especially Isaac. It's very great to see a fan cast of the character make it to the big screen. They all just really put in 110% again and make this such an engaging ride. Then there's the people who were added for this film, who include Jason Schwartzman, Issa Rae, Karen Sony, Daniel Kaluuya, Andy Samberg, Jorma Taccone, Amanda Stenberg, Nick Novicki, Shea Wiggum, Greta Lee, Rachel Dratch, and plenty of others. All are fucking fantastic for whatever roles they have. Samberg was especially hilarious as Scarlet Spider, as well as seeing cameos of a bunch of fan favorites, of course, like Spectacular Spider-Man and the live-action films. The animation, holy fucking shitballs. I swear to fucking Christ, if anyone says animated movies aren't art or are just for kids, I am fucking sucker punching them in the fucking face. Because this is motherfucking art, man. How the different universes are designed, how the different spider people are designed, the surrealist looks and tones throughout the entire film was just absolutely fucking brilliant. Lord Miller and all the directors and writers and producers and whatever made sure to push the boundaries of what the first film could do and then some. When everyone was bitching and complaining that this got fucking delayed, I knew they were just working even harder to give us a fucking worthwhile animated film. And guess what? The wait was fucking worth it. The comedy, for the most part, hit. A couple dumb jokes here and there, but nothing too noticeably bad. There were a couple times where I was howling with laughter, mainly with Spot in the beginning, or as I mentioned, Scarlet Spider being essentially a parody of 90s heroes. Great stuff. But luckily, it knew when to shut the fuck up and tell a dramatic story. Taika Waititi's, take fucking notes. I love how the character of the Spot was a satirization of small-time villains that think they're more important than they are, as well as the MCU Spider-Man villains. How it was like, he called my invention barf, and then all of a sudden he's a fucking supervillain. As well as how he was subverting expectations, but done properly. Ryan Johnson, I'm looking at you. I thought he was just going to be the cold open villain, and then we would get the real villain later on, and he would like show up in a post-credit scene or something. But no, he actually becomes a worthy adversary and a damn good villain. For once, Avi Arad did something right. And by the end, he got the ultimate power of the end pass. Way to go, Spot. If I had negatives to say, is that there were some bouts of slowness, some dumb jokes here and there, the character of Spider-Punk, and this is going to sound very dumb, but it felt incomplete. I know. It's the first part in a two-part story, so obviously it's going to be incomplete. That is the intention. But I still felt that there could have been a little bit more, maybe some more threads being tied up and what have you. Like make it seem more like a movie. Kind of like what, even though this is way better in every single way than the movie I'm going to mention, but Dune, yes, it's part one, but it still feels like a whole movie and its own movie, you know? But even though Dune was fucking boring as shit, but that's beside the point. But again, small nitpick, it didn't hinder my enjoyment of the film at all. Overall, this was a terrific addition to Spider-Man media and just adds to the brilliant run that we've gotten in terms of that. No Way Home, the games, and now this. The future is bright for Spider-Man, and I can't wait to be here for it. Kevin Feige, if you fuck up Spider-Man 4, I'm fucking coming for you. 9.5 out of 10.
Rome?
What's good, everybody? So, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse deserves a Best Picture nomination because the animation was just gorgeous and better compared to the first movie. Into the Spider-Verse was a love letter to Spider-Man, while Across the Spider-Verse was centered around Miles Morales becoming his own Spider-Man and the challenges he has to deal with compared to Peter Parker's Spider-Man. I thought the entire voice cast was fantastic. I couldn't find anybody who wasn't miscast or was bad. What's different about the sequel compared to the first one is that the first one was very joyful, and the sequel had a very ambitious story. Hey, Robs, full of emotional dialogue. The writers wanted to write a serious story that brings an emotional journey for Miles and Spider-Gwen, as they both had their challenges and had an emotional drama that hit to their core. My favorite moment was the dynamic between Miles and his parents. I loved every second of it. Some surprising cameos I was not expecting, but I was happy to see. The music and the score by Daniel Pemberton, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I'm not sure, but sorry, was amazing and enhanced every scene and every emotional moment in that movie. I don't know how good this movie could be without the music. The music was very important in this. The writers took the time brick by brick to tell a story with depth and character development. They did a fantastic job fleshing out the Spider-Verse and introducing the Spider Society. If there is a negative about the Cross Spider-Verse, it doesn't have its own ending. Sony Pictures did a great job with handling the multiverse stuff compared to Marvel Studios. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse lives up to Crossing the Spider-Verse and is a must-watch for everyone to see in theaters. My score is a 8.5 out of 10.
Mark, are you ready or do you need more time? You're muted.
Muted.
I need more time. Go ahead and read Jace.
Okay, actually, John, do you want to read Rob's? It's on Letterboxd.
Okay, I'm gonna be reading Right Dude's review of Across the Spider-Verse. This was easily one of my most anticipated films of 2022 and 2023. Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man film of all time. Yes, even more so than Spider-Man 2, as much as I love that movie too. After seeing it, I will say, while I still prefer Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse would be my second favorite Spider-Man film. Yes, you heard that right, Sam Raimi, Spider-Man worshippers, lol. First off, the animation is just as beautiful as Into the Spider-Verse. Both of these films feel like a comic book put on the big screen. However, it looks even better here since we get to see multiple different worlds and Spider people throughout different dimensions. They brought in other versions of Spider-Man from different forms of media we have had throughout the years. I laughed when I saw the Spider-Man from the Spectacular Spider-Man and the Lego Spider-Man. The characters are just as great as they were before. I know that many people complain that the opening drags out for too long with Spider-Gwen. However, it never bothered me personally since I love her character in the first one, and it was great to see how it connects with the struggle that she had to deal with her own father. Her father feels like her daughter is a murderer at first, and she learns that he really cares for her, even to the point of quitting the police service. Miles is also still great. He suffers the same struggle of telling his parents about his secret identity and balancing his life while still being Spider-Man, similar to what Spider-Man 2 did, and better. Spot is also a very fun villain. Sure, his motivation felt generic, but his personality and his presence makes him a fun villain. The film ended on a great cliffhanger that made me even more anticipated for Beyond the Spider-Verse. The only negative I could think of, though it's more of a nitpick than anything, is that I wish we got to see more of Spider-Ham, Penny Parker, and Spider-Man Noir. I love those characters in the first one, and I wish we got to see them more. Other than that, I don't have any other complaints. This is an amazing film. Haha. And I am so looking forward to seeing them again, as well as Beyond the Spider-Verse. He gave it a 9.5 out of 10.
And I have Zach was gonna be here, but he had to step away. But he did record his review, and I'm gonna play that right now.
As a part one cliffhanger ending type of superhero film, I gotta say, I honestly like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse more than Avengers Infinity War. It was dark, it was deep, it was more challenging than the first one, which already set a high bar because fuck, that movie didn't have to go as hard as it did, but it did. And then this movie goes even harder with the force of a sledgehammer. I loved the themes about choices, that how things aren't always going to go your way no matter how hard you try. And then I loved the whole reveal with how the spider wasn't meant to bite Miles Morales and how this whole time he's a mistake. You weren't meant to be Spider-Man. Oh, I love that so much. Like Ryan Johnson, this is how you subvert expectations. Hollywood, this is how you subvert expectations. Take fucking notes. But anyway, Across the Spider-Verse. It may not be the best comic book movie I have seen in years, but I would say, as a Spider-Man movie, I liked it more than all of the Tom Holland movies, even No Way Home, both Andrew Garfield films, and maybe even more than the first Spider-Verse movie. I would say it maybe ranks third out of all the Spider-Man movies, up there with Spider-Man 2, and then, no, because Across the Spider-Verse is my favorite, then Spider-Man 2, and then this one may be ranked third, or could even go up to second once I give it more time. But overall, I'm going to give Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse a 9.5 out of 10. Bring on the fucking finale. I want it yesterday. It cannot get here any sooner. Mic drop.
All right, and do you want to read Jay's, or do you still want to wait for him?
Let's see if we can wait for him.
Okay, Mark, are you ready?
I can wing the last.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I'll allow it. Okay, one of the most highly anticipated films of the year did not disappoint. Once again, the team of Phil Lord and Christopher Miller delivered. The movie was everything a sequel should be: bigger and louder, with more new characters and bigger stakes. The action, especially in the second half, is absolutely bonkers. The stakes are definitely higher, pitting the fate of Miles' entire universe against his completely understandable need to save his father. His adversaries, including Spot, a multiversal team of spider people led by asshole extraordinaire Spider-Man 2099 and a last-minute surprise, push Miles to his limits and beyond. The animation is possibly even more gorgeous and stunning than in the first groundbreaking film, complementing the multiversal themes and differences among the various spider folk. Yet it also took time, arguably a bit too much at points, to slow down for character development. This is the real heart of this That is the real heart of this franchise. The fact that ultimately it centers around, well, heart. Despite the stunning animation and the thrilling action, the best part of these movies remain the fact that it centers around likable, interesting, relatable characters whom you want to see succeed. Miles and Gwen feel like moody teenagers balancing school, family, and work. The parents feel like they're doing their best in an extremely hard job for which there is no manual. Both movies manage to be very relatable without descending into cheap sentimentality and offering no easy answers. Yet it's not, you can't say it's completely positive. There are a few minor pitbacks and minor negatives. For one thing, it gets a bit slow at times. It gets a bit slow at times, especially in the first act or so. The introduction, the opening sequence was very long. Not bad at all. Actually, very good, but very long. But then it switches to it starts opening with the opening sequence focuses on Gwen. Then it switches after the title sequence and everything. We switch to Miles's point of view, and that's where it starts to drag just a little bit, repeating some of the family drama we saw in the last film. Which again isn't bad, but it does slow it down a bit at times. So at some point you start to wonder when the action is going to pick up, but then Gwen shows up and they he winds up following her into the Spiderverse, and it picks right back up and it just becomes absolutely fantastic. So these are really minor nitpicks at the end of the day. One more thing, I did kind of roll my eyes every time we saw a new Spider person, and they had to do the whole introduction. Okay, one last time. It's not one last time. Stop saying one last time. It's not the last time. Not that it's bad, because they still managed to make it short and punchy and funny. The Hindi Spider-Man was absolutely fantastic. So was I really like Spider-Punk, because I really like Spider-Punk as well. He was really funny. Kind of made sense that he would help. He's kind of anti-establishment anyway. So. But again, these are really minor nitpicks, and it's a really fantastic movie. I definitely can't say I agree that it's better than Spider-Man 2. I won't even necessarily say it's better than the first, but it is in some ways, but I don't think it is in others. I think the first one's better paced, but either way, my rating is a 9 out of 10. Great film. Really great film. Somebody say something.
I did, before we really get into the discussion, I did want to mention something, because as Mark love to state Spider-Man 2099 is a fucking asshole in this movie. Now, he isn't. In the comics, he's a good guy. He's a little bit more hardened and a little bit more extreme because he was made in the 90s, so everybody had to be extreme back then. So, but he's not a bad guy. Now, my buddy Tim, who is a walking comic book encyclopedia, had a theory in regards to Spider-Man 2099. That Spider-Man 2099 isn't Miguel O'Hara. That if anybody knows, if anybody doesn't know, I'm just going to say this. Now, in the original Spider-Verse comic story, the villains are extra-dimensional vampires because comic books are weird. So, and they're led by a guy named Morlun. Now, in this movie, they quickly mention how Miguel O'Hara is a vampire. Now, this could be just a tongue-in-cheek reference to it, but my buddy said what they might be doing is they're teasing the fact that Miguel O'Hara, this isn't Miguel O'Hara. This is Morlun disguised as Miguel O'Hara, and that the thing he's injecting into himself isn't Rapture, the drug that kind of made him Spider-Man in the comics, but is in fact Miguel O'Hara's DNA, so that people don't suspect him that he's not Miguel O'Hara. So I thought that was actually really interesting because I trust Phil Lord and Chris Miller a lot. They are great filmmakers and they know what they're doing, clearly.
What a twist!
So, again, this is just a theory. This is not my own theory. This is my friend's theory. But considering, because even my limited knowledge of Spider-Man 2099, when they said he's a vampire, I'm like, that's not right. That's weird. So I'm like, okay, so that's his theory that it's not just a tongue-in-cheek reference, but it is actually the real villains, like in the original comic book story. So I thought that could be interesting, and I trust Phil Lord and Chris Miller because Spider-Man 2099 is a big fan favorite character, and I feel like they would be more aware than to make him. Somebody's echoing.
That's Mark.
Make him a bad guy here. I feel like now if this was the MCU, oh yeah, totally, they would fucking make him a bad guy because Kevin Feige is an idiot. Like, but Chris Miller and Phil Lord and Chris Miller, I trust them, and I feel like there's more to this, and I believe that theory because I feel like there's more to that because, I mean, yeah, Kevin Feige, of course he would. I mean, look what happened with She-Hulk. But Lord and Miller, they know. I feel like they wouldn't do that to fans. I feel like they wouldn't do that. So I don't. That's what I'm believing in. That Miguel O'Hara isn't Miguel O'Hara.
I don't necessarily. I mean, I think it went a bit too far when he started saying that Miles was a mistake. You were a mistake. You were supposed to be Spider-Man. All this shit. I kind of get what they were saying, what they're trying to do, but I mean, before then, honestly, I don't think he's necessarily trying to make him a villain. I don't think necessarily a villain. He just has a different point of view because from his point of view, Miles is threatening an entire fucking universe.
Yeah, exactly.
From what he says,
fucking universe,
because it's only his word against everyone else's.
I don't know
because he says in the
that would
movie,
be kind of a cheap cop out to me though. If it's just some villain, so why form all those Spider-Men and do all of this whole time to try to keep these?
We don't know. That could be that could be the case. It's just because the thing is, making Spider-Man 2099 a villain is
he's not a villain though.
He kind of is when you're
he's an antagonist, yes.
He's more of an anti-hero in this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I don't know. I just feel like he wouldn't go this far with that, and I don't know because he does say in the movie.
What for? Trying to save the universe? I mean,
but here's the thing: he does say in the movie, he says this Spider-Gwen. She's like, "So what if? Do you even know what happens if canon is undone?" He's like, "No, but do you want to find out?" He doesn't even fucking know. So it could be just like. He's kind of just going through the motions trying to take power of the multiverse, but he's using all these spider people to get his way. I don't know. I just like I feel like that's an interesting theory,
There's
and I
some
feel
kind
like
of a hidden agenda, like a hidden plot, or
because I feel like
something that's not
I don't know.
on
I just feel
I
like
still think that'd be a cop out.
Oh wait,
I just,
wait, hold on. Bro, what'd you say? It was a hidden what?
maybe like some kind of hidden personal agenda or something that the vampire. Go ahead, play the clip.
Of our agenda.
but I don't know. It's just like
Uh-huh.
because I know a lot of Spider-Man 2099 fans were pissed when they saw that like what was happening in this movie, and I can kind of see that. But so I don't want to like totally believe. Now it could be just a tongue-in-cheek reference. It could be just like they're combining Miguel O'Hara and the extra dimensional vampires into one. They could be doing that. So who knows? But it could be interesting.
I don't know. I still think he's not necessarily a villain. I think it makes more sense if his story is true, and he does not want to see that happen again. So that's why he's going this far to prevent it. So, I mean, he has a limited viewpoint, maybe, because, I mean, hell, we never know. Miles could be right. Miles could be wrong. Miles might realize he's wrong and that there is no way to save his father without destroying the universe.
Because there's always going to be consequences if you're Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's one of the whole points of the character.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be consequences. He's going to suffer.
I wondered, since we're doing spoilers here,
yeah,
I wonder. We all know the surprise character, of course, was Miles in Earth 42. Was the
Prowler?
The Prowler, yes. Using technology, and so. I love how we went through a whole trope of a different hairstyle.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. He had braids in his hair now, so his hair was braided now. So, yeah, I guess that's the equivalent of your goatee for Star Trek. So, anyway, I have a theory that maybe I was talking about this with somebody else, that maybe Miles will go back in time and have that spider bite him, so that he could become Spider-Man
too,
and he doesn't become Spider-Man, so that saves his father. So
that's what I was thinking, because the next movie name is Beyond the Spider-Verse, so it could be that they're going beyond a multiverse and they're infusing time travel,
exactly,
which technically is also a cop-out, but it could work.
I mean, I'd prefer that to this being some kind of nefarious plot that somebody's been carrying on for apparently fucking decades and shit. So I don't know.
I mean, the vampire part about Miguel O'Hara kind of threw me off. That's where I thought of Tolom, the Marlin character from Into the Spider-Verse, the original.
Yeah. I was like, why? Because the thing is, it's like, why make him a vampire? That's kind of weird.
Right.
But,
and they're good at
yeah. Because initially when he was injecting himself, my buddy was like, Rapture, why are they bringing that back? Because that would make sense, because, like, again, for anybody who doesn't know in the comics, he was explaining this to me after the movie ended. But Rapture was like a drug in Nueva York, and it's like it like changes your genetic code, so like you can't like get off of it. And like I think he was like the CEO of Alchemax, and his partner was like trying to fuck him over, and so they get him addicted to this drug. And then, however, his DNA was on file, so he was like, okay, I'm going to just rewrite my DNA again back to my original. But somebody infused his DNA with spider DNA, so that's how he became Spider-Man, was dumping out the Rapture genetic code and his own, but it was infused. So that's how, over-the-top way of how he got spider powers. So, so it's weird that they would bring back Rapture for this case. I mean, it could be like, oh, he was so devastated by, the canon getting fucked up with that world disappearing that he went back to drugs. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But it could be the Morlun thing. It could be not. Again, it's just we're kind of just shooting in the dark right now.
Yeah, because I know they're gonna go a lot more insane with the next one, because I mean this movie was already was over 2 hours. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. Do you think Do you think the next one will be even longer? Or do you think they'll stick with the same length?
I think it'll be a little longer.
stick with the same thing. I don't think they would want to alienate fans by making it too long. I mean, because this is already technically like the longest animated movie theatrically released or some shit.
Mhm.
So I don't think they would want to keep going further and just making it longer and longer, because that might be a little bit annoying, especially when this felt like the running time at points. Not too bad, but at points.
So Jay wants us. Jay just told me he wants us to read his review.
Okay. You can read it.
Yeah, it should be on some Letterboxd. So I'll pull it up now. Oh my god. That is all I have to say when it comes to this movie. This has been my most anticipated movie of the year and this summer. I was hoping it would be as good as the first one, but no, I was wrong. It wasn't. It was absolutely better than the first one. This has to be one of the best comic book movies I have ever seen. Miles Morales goes through the ringer in this film, and he ends up becoming more of a legendary character. In this story, he is torn between his life as Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and he is thrown into a multiverse time force where all the Spider-Men and women work to stop fractures in the multiverse. But that is that when Miles comes to the realization that being Spider-Man and being a part of the multiverse squad comes with a sacrifice, and he ends up choosing to do things his way, even though the odds are stacked against him and fate is lined up to be exactly as planned. Miles does everything, decides to change his fate and destiny, and tries to do everything he can save. Redacted. That's how we said it. The ending was one of the best cliffhangers was one of the best cliffhangers, and I'm excited for more. And one more thing, 5 months. And he didn't give a rating out of 10, but he did give it a 5 out of 5. So, just I'll put him down for a 10. Oh yeah, how did everyone in your theater react to the cliffhanger? Because everyone at my theater, a bunch of people at my theater actually got really pissed. Like, they were screaming, like, "What the fuck? Are you kidding me?" Like, they were basically like this.
I had a woman next to me being like, "What? That's it? Are you kidding me? Really?" And I'm like, but there were a couple like, come on, like nothing like too mad. There wasn't like booing or like people going crazy or anything. I think there were a couple of people like, "Oh, what? That's it? Come on, really?"
They went fucking nuts in my theater. They were like, "Oh man, you got to be kidding me!" No, man. I was sitting there saying out loud, "You got to be you people can't tell me you didn't expect this." It literally said part one.
Part one.
It literally said part one. What the hell did you expect? Nice neat little bow wrap at the end. Come on. These people could not have handled the 80s, I'm telling you. Because every show in the 80s and 90s did fucking to be continued shows once in a while. Jesus. That was a common thing, man.
I overheard some people from my theater hating the movie because of how it ended. They were just like,
"Oh, come on."
Really?
Bullshit.
I'm not kidding. I'm walking around with other people who just left the movie. There's people just talk about, "Oh, I hate this movie, how it ended." Like, I hate just rambling about the whole
thing
thing.
is, like, did nobody read anything? Because, okay, to be fair, they changed the title. They changed it from part 1 and part 2 to like across and beyond. Like, okay, fine. But like, did nobody read? Did nobody like see anything on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or anything? Like, with the amount of information that fucking like is shat out through the internet's asshole, you'd fucking think that people would be a little bit more aware of this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the very first like teaser said, "Across the Spiderverse, part 1." So, people just don't fucking pay attention.
Or they have the attention span of a fruit fly.
Catching a fruit fly.
Yeah, all those people that were getting mad and like booing, like, are you kidding me? This is a cliffhanger. What the fuck? This is all I have to say to them.
You, sir, are an imbecile, a mockery to sentient beings, a completely hopeless cause.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I will say,
my theater was super fucking obnoxious a lot of time. Like a lot of,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh
when they're
God,
like screaming when like certain characters came on, I'm like, all right, that's fine, but just saying.
they did mine. Well, go ahead.
Stop bringing babies into movie theaters, you stupid assholes!
Dude, I had a fucking
sorry.
toddler kept looking back at me half the night and sitting right in front of me, look back at me half the night. Hi. I'm like, hi.
Like, watch the movie. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. I should have said at one time I did cuss and her mother kind of looked back at me. I'm like, because somebody had a phone light on behind me. And I actually said, who has on the fucking phone?
Someone's phone went off.
I actually said that shit out loud.
Yeah, there were people like thinking this is like they're in their house or something. Like when I got up, the lights went on and the credits started rolling. I'm like looking, like people brought like blankets, they took their shoes off. It's like fucking like really?
I mean the blanket.
Oh
I mean the
my
blanket
God.
thing. My Regal has reclining chairs, so people will bring blankets. But the whole take the shoes off, like, come on, dude, really?
It's like, dude, nobody wants to fucking smell your rank ass fucking feet, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like people getting way too fucking comfortable. I think I get what my dad's saying now because he's like, oh, fucking people have no respect for themselves. All this shit. I'm like, yeah, maybe.
This is why we need Alamo draft houses in New Jersey. Because any of the viewers don't know, Alamo Draft House's whole shtick is if you were caught talking during the movie or you're caught on your phone, your ass is getting thrown out.
Yes.
I agree.
Theaters need to be strong, need to be a lot more strict about that.
Yeah, I will say the one time that they did fuck up was a girl who was like trying to find her seat and she used her phone light and she got kicked out and she's like, and she left this like really angry voicemail. And it's just like, it's just like people not, like I talk during the movie sometimes, but I try to be quiet. But
yeah,
I
like try to whisper to Jack sometimes.
Yeah, like, oh, look at that! Oh my god, that's so funny. Like if I'm like, I will try like if I'm ever on. The only time I was like on my phone for a while was during Thor Shit and Blunder because I was so fucking angry and bored at the fucking movie I was watching that I like could not stand to like look at it anymore. And there was nobody behind us, there was nobody around us. It was just like us and then like bunch of seats that were, and like at that point I didn't fucking care. It's like it was such a garbage ass fucking movie. I really didn't care like if somebody threw me out.
It's why I'm glad because I took my little sister with me, and thankfully she is well behaved and she knew when to be quiet during the movie. And here's something I want to show. She showed up dressed up as Spider-Gwen.
Nice, very impressive. Now let's see Paul Allen's.
God,
fuck yeah!
No, nice. Very impressive. Now let's see Morbius's one.
Rob mentioned the Alamo Draft House in Raleigh. Rob, I know about that Alamo Draft House. I've never been there though. I'd like to go sometime. Although the theater in Pinehurst in Southern Pines actually sells beer now, and local variety.
Can we go back to the actual movie?
Anyway,
let's get back to Spider-Man.
What were like some of like your favorite Easter eggs? Because there was a lot.
There was a fucking lot. Like I like seeing the live action Spider-Man. I like seeing Donald Glover. Somebody's finally paying that off.
Yeah.
I liked seeing the Insomniac Spider-Man. I thought that was really funny. Again, Seeing Spectacular Spider-Man was cute. But I noticed something, like maybe this has happened with you guys, maybe again, my theater, but was the sound like off for people? Because sometimes I like could not fucking hear what people were saying.
It was for me.
In the beginning for me, yeah.
Because it was like it was the worst when Spider-Punk was talking, because Mr. Like I can't fucking understand what he's saying. So that was like totally out. I didn't understand like 90% of his dialogue. But there were times where it just got like so quiet that I'm like, what did they say? I'm like, am I going deaf? And I asked my friend, I'm like, what did they say? He's like, oh, he said this. I'm like, okay, I must be going deaf, because I like couldn't hear like at least 25% of the dialogue that was said in this movie. So all the budget went to the animation instead of the sound department, I guess. So
for me, I noticed the sound problems like during the beginning, like during the like the Gwen stuff, and I think during like the big chase with all the Spider people chasing Miles. Those were all the parts where I noticed it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My favorite, some of my favorite Easter eggs, obviously, Toby. I mean, I actually like clap.
I did too.
And Andrew, of course, Andrew and Toby, and after those two, what ranks right up there with those two. The original fucking animated Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I
that
fucking
one,
loved
yeah.
it.
Spider-Man,
Loved it, man. I just man. I felt like a fucking kid again seeing that, because I literally used to watch reruns of that on Sunday mornings when I was a fucking kid, man. And then when he swings by, you see he's 2D. I was like, oh my god, that's fucking perfect. That's
that was awesome.
That was
my
fucking
favorite.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That was really. I also, oh my god, I was when the opening scene was happening, and the fucking animation with Vulture, like Jesus fucking Christ, that was so good. I literally leaned to my friend. He like didn't care. I'm like, dude, the animation is fucking great. He's like, yeah, shut up. But like
that Leonardo da Vinci look was amazing.
My fucking god,
brilliant.
Yeah.
And I loved how like how the Spot was animated.
Oh yeah,
like especially when he starts to become a lot more evil. Like he's completely dark now, and
I like his frumpy dad bod. Like I like how he.
Oh
was,
my
like,
god! Yes,
totally skinny. He was just like weirdly designed, and like he was like kind of fat, but like kind of not. It was perfect. I'm like, we need more frumpy dad bod villains.
Okay,
exactly.
Hey, one of the things, damn it, I forgot what I was going to say now. Jack made me forget what I was going to say. Oh, no, I remember. At one point, actually, leaned over to Jack and said, Miles literally ranks below Lego Spider-Man. I mean, he literally
ranks fucking straight. Like your Spider-Man is one of the best for a fucking reason. You don't fuck with Lego Spider-Man.
He literally ranks below Lego Spider-Man, man. Come on.
He ranks below Spider-Cat.
Yes, he ranks below Spider-Cat.
And a Spider-Horse.
You know what was really funny? I love how in every dimension, not even like anything, nobody tries to be in every dimension, J. Jonah Jameson is voiced by J.K. Simmons.
Oh my god, you noticed that too?
That awesome. Yep, I caught that.
Like, nobody is gonna be better. Like,
no.
Once J.K. Simmons unfortunately passes away, I hope it's not soon, but like, it's gonna happen eventually. They're just not going to have J. Jonah Jameson in any other movie. They're going to AI his voice or something, because there's not going to be a single more J. Jonah Jameson after he's gone.
Yeah, like J.K. Simmons is Jameson.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so funny. Like every time I heard his voice, I'm like, oh, there's J.K. Simmons again. Oh god, it was great.
Because in the 90s cartoon, he was voiced by Ed Asner.
Mm-hmm.
And well, he's
dead
with us. Yeah.
Yeah. Ed Asner. Ed Asner was great.
Imagine early Ermy Like if he was live. Imagine
Oh,
Early
that would be
Irby as J.
yeah.
Jonah Jameson.
Arlie Ermy could do
Yeah,
it.
he was considered for. I think he was considered at one point for. I think like the '80s Spider-Man movie that never happened. I think
Yeah.
the Canon movie that was going to
Is
happen.
that the one that James Cameron was supposed to make?
That was
Maybe
90s.
it was it was either the Canon Films one or the James Cameron one. I forget which one. It might have been the James Cameron one.
I do Stan Lee. I do Stan Lee was going to play Jameson at some point.
Okay, I think that was the Canon one because Stan Lee was going to play him, and then Arlie Ermy was going to play him at some point. But yeah, I think
I'm
it was
so
Arlie
glad
Ermy.
Cannon didn't make it. Cannon,
Yeah, especially with happened with Spider-Man or Superman 4.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
No,
And
thank you.
And Captain America.
Very true.
The James Cameron Spider-Man, that could have been interesting.
Yeah.
Even though it had Mary Jane and Spider-Man, not Peter, Spider-Man.
Having sex on top of the World Trade Center.
On top of the Brooklyn Bridge.
No, I thought it was the
Sure.
World Trade Center.
No, it was the Brooklyn Bridge. I read the summary of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that would have been a weird fucking movie. James Cameron wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger for Doc Ock before he became Doc Ock.
I remember hearing that. Yeah.
I think it was Michael Biehn was supposed to be Electro, but like he wasn't the comic book Electro. It was like a new character who was Electro, and then Lance Henriksen was supposed to be Sandman, I think, or the other way around. But yeah, so yeah, I did want to mention because I got reminded because of the icon here. But yeah, I really liked Spot in this movie. He was really funny. And I just love how he was like they were satirizing the whole like
Villain of the week.
The MCU Spider-Man villains like he called my invention barf. I'm gonna be a super villain now because reasons. And like I'm your greatest.
You hit me with a bagel.
You hit me with a bagel. I'm like, oh my god, are you fucking kidding me right now?
That was
You
awesome.
created me
Because I hit you with a bagel. All right, that works. Sure, why not?
I love how he was like kind of making fun of that, but then like turned into something greater because I leaned over to my friend again and I was like, how much you want to bet he comes back in a post-credit scene? He's like, maybe. And then, but it's like, no, he actually became the villain. And as I said before during my review, that was Avi Arad's suggestion to make Spot the villain. They had Lord and Miller at first were like, nah, that's dumb. And then they were like, hang on, let's see what his power set is. And it like made sense within the context of the movie. They're like, yeah, fuck it, let's make him the villain.
Yeah, I like the idea of taking this villain taking like a lame villain and making them interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that was one of the best parts, to be honest, because he first came up and like, why is this guy taking so long? This is like he's like he said, it's like a villain of the week type thing. What the hell? But I mean,
I'm not a villain of the week.
About it, exactly. Plus, he's like this nerd is like, what the fuck? Just dispatch this guy. But you think about it, the more you see him, it's like, damn, really? How do you beat a guy like that? I mean, shit. So, I mean,
yeah, and
the fact that he, that he keeps pushing him, the fact that I hated him so much let me know that this guy's doing a really great job. So
yeah, and I like how ironically the more that Miles fought him, he became a better villain. Like he was learning his power set more. So even though Miles probably could have done something else to get him easily, but ironically, because Miles fought him more and more, he did technically create him because he made him a better villain. Like, that's kind of, interesting. So, it works. Well, I really like Spot in this movie. And again, because the last time Avi Arad suggested a villain, it became Spider-Man 3, and we all know how that turned out. So, so the fact that he
maybe he's learning.
Probably not. Like, let's not give Avi Arad too much fucking credit. He's still in charge of the fucking Sonyverse. Let's get that fucking clear.
Yeah, that's very, very true. I wonder if Morbius was his idea.
Probably.
But yeah, I like God, I like the animation. I liked Spider-Gwen's world where it was like the watercolors, and
I love that as well.
So
Yeah.
beautiful.
it was so good. And then it was just like, I don't know, as I said before, it's like the little tiny moments. Yeah, the slowness, you do feel it, but it's like it's just like those quieter moments, you just let it like seep, you let it like go, and it's like, this is Marvel, MCU, Kevin, this is what you should be doing. Like, you can have quips, you like, because that's literally Spider-Man's
That's
shtick. You can
Spider-Man's
have
thing.
that.
He's a smartass.
He's a smartass, and it works. But there's also a time when you just need to be serious and just let it, just let it cool, just let it go calm,
Exactly.
just let it build, and just,
Just and here's a question I want to know if
I was going to
I wanna
answer
know
my
what you-
some of my favorite moments as well. I didn't really get a chance to.
Oh, sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
It's okay. Some of my favorite moments I loved was the parents and Miles, where like they met, Gwen. And there was like this inside joke about them judging her by like just her, announcing them by their names. I thought that was pretty funny. I really like the speech that his mother gives to Miles, after Gwen leaves, where you can see there's like a heartfelt moment, and that was fantastic too. I really liked a lot of the emotional dialogue and the stuff with
Yes.
Gwen and her dad at the end, where it kind of gave us a little bit of a conclusion between her and her dad. That was a really great moment and something that paid off.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I know my
Yeah,
favorite part. Sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
Do you have any other favorite moments?
Just the animation, just so you see just Spider-Man, Miles running, and you got different Spider-Mans coming after him. I was just surprised they had Unlimited Spider-Man on there, not the 90s Spider-Man. I was a little surprised by that. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
I thought he was good. I thought 90s Spider-Man was gonna be in it because I think he was on the
Yeah.
one of like the promotional.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they did, because as I was saying before, I was kind of upset that the Emissary of Hell was not in this film, because he's also a big fan favorite, because they announced that he was going to be in it, and they said they designed the character, but they couldn't find a way to fit him in, so he was not in the film. Hopefully he's in Beyond, because we need him mowing down criminals with a Tommy gun, because we need to see that.
Yes.
So, so it's entirely possible that they designed it for the film, but they just ended up not using it because they couldn't fit him in. Because
Probably the same deal with the 90s Spider-Man.
No, that's what I'm saying. The 90s Spider-Man 2, that they probably designed it and couldn't fit him in, because the thing is, there's so many like Leonardo DiCaprio moments, and there's only so many you can fit in there, because you have like all the worthwhile ones that we want to really see. Like, you got the Insomniac Spider-Man, you got the live action Spider-Man, you got Spectacular, you got all these ones that a lot of people know and love. And I think they would want, at least my hope is, they would want to give a little bit more care to the Spider-Man show that a lot of people grew up with, the 90s Spider-Man, and then the big like niche fan favorite character with the Japanese Spider-Man. So apparently the Italian Spider-Man was also supposed to be in it, but he was again, they couldn't find a place for him. So
I mean, the thing is, when they were making the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, they didn't realize it was going to be a 4.5 or whatever hour movie for the sequel was going to be, so they cut it up into 2.
Oof.
Yeah.
So fuck.
You okay, bro?
I think his connection's fucking up again.
Yep, I see movement.
That's weird.
All right. Definitely my favorite moment was the big chase with all the spider people.
Oh yeah, that was funny. And then I looked into his eyes, and let me guess, he died.
He died.
That was still funny, even though we saw it in the trailer.
Or Spider-Man is that large? You? Is it you? Is it you?
I like how they didn't overplay the joke, because I'm like, oh god, they'll probably do that like 10 minutes. Nope, they just did that once. They did it for a couple seconds, And that was it. They didn't overdo the joke. They did it in the first one in the post-credit scene. Yes, I like that. They did it here for a couple seconds. They didn't overdo it. I'm very happy about that.
And God, there's so many favorite moments to pick. It's hard to narrow it down.
I mean, I love the Danny Glover moment where you saw, they gave us that little conclusion.
Yes, I did say that. Oh God, that was great. Because I love how Miles was like, "What the fuck is that? Why does he look so weird?" And then he's just like, "It's rude to stare." I just love that. I just love like the not like giving him like very Donald Glover. I think that just it's very rude to stare. So that was really funny. I liked Jessica Drew. I thought she was fine. Like she was like kind of felt like the I Am Woman Hear Me Roar type shit. It never got like too annoying though. She was like good for what she was in, but she was fun, but like I felt like it was just funny how she seemed like she's going to be like the next big like fan favorite character, and yet like nobody mentioned her. It's like, yeah, she was fine, she was good, but I feel like she was just not incredibly memorable because I feel like she kind of is lumped in with all the I am a powerful female character.
Our agenda.
Look, I can do spider things while I'm pregnant, aren't I? Like stuff. It's not like Supergirl or anything like that. It was not bad or anything.
To break it up, John.
They're good on my end.
All right.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it's not like Supergirl, She-Hulk levels of bad, where it's like a drill in your head.
Our agenda.
But you already said that.
I know.
But yeah, Jessica Drew, she was good. I loved. Yes. I mean, we technically already got Peter Parker, so there is that.
Yeah.
But I love Scarlet Spider. I'm going through an emotional backstory flashback. Yeah, you won't understand.
Yeah.
I've got you wrapped up in my rippling muscles.
That was so fucking good. It's like, yeah, that's Scarlet Spider. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh man! Oh my god!
And how would including this one, and not including like Venom, the Venom movies, and it's Morbin time. What would your Spider-Man movie ranking be? Because for me,
and the rest don't matter. I'm just kidding.
Boom, baby.
Because so for me, it's Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, Across the Spider-Verse, Amazing Spider-Man, then the first Spider-Man, then No Way Home, then Far From Home, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, and dead last, and don't at me, Spider-Man Homecoming!
Do I stutter, bitch?
No, we all agree with you.
We understand.
Yeah.
Mine would probably be Spider-Man 2, Into the Spider-Verse, Amazing Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse, then probably Spider-Man 1, then No Way Home, then Amazing Spider-Man 2, then Spider-Man 3, then probably Homecoming. Or maybe I'd reverse Homecoming, Spider-Man 3. Am I missing any? Did I miss any? Oh yeah, Far From Home. I don't know. It's somewhere towards the bottom. I don't give a fuck. It's like No Way Home and then the other two.
Yeah.
Wrong.
No Way Home, where Tom Holland actually feels like Spider-Man. Crazy.
Yeah, really.
Mhm.
Rather than Daddy Stark, help me, please.
Step by
Mhm.
Stark. Rob, what would your ranking be?
For me, here's the thing. Like, I prefer live action over animation. Just me, but like, I'll just do my top 3 for live action. It's Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 1, and Spider-Man No Way Home. But for animation, like right now, I'll still say Into the Spider-Verse for now until I see Across Spider-Verse a second time. But they're both great animated movies, and I think Across the Spider-Verse has really pushed the bar for animation in movies. It's
Oh, yeah,
just a
like, no
phenomenal
kidding.
movie.
As I said, if anyone's like, oh, animated movies aren't like fucking real movies, they're getting my fist into their fucking eye.
I mean, I want to see
I'm-
this movie hit like so many Grammys, Oscars, just get so many awards like for everything. Like it's
I mean,
such
Into
an
the
amazing
Spider-Verse
movie.
won Best Animated Movie in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
You
just
know
want to get
what?
like,
Should have won Best Animated Movie if they had it at the time. Fucking Batman Mask of the Goddamn Phantasm.
It's good.
You're
It's,
welcome.
it's a little over.
Damn sorry, Bark.
It's a little
Uh,
overrated. Don't at me.
Fuck off.
I could name like 4 other Batman movies that are better than Mask of the Phantasm.
Wrong. Maybe Under the Red Hood. I'll give you that. Maybe Under the Red Hood.
Under the Red Hood, Dark Knight Returns Parts 1 and 2, and don't at me, Batman Soul of the Dragon. Criminally underrated.
But all right. My Spider-Man list. Spider-Man 2. Nothing's topping Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2, Into the Spider. God, it's tough to choose between Into the Spider-Verse and No Way Home. Gonna have to say No Way Home. Even above Into the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 1. After that, Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Homecoming, and Far From Home.
And here's this is Rob's ranking. Because I mean, like, No Way Home. I mean, the best way I can describe the John Watts trilogy, it's 2 strikes and then a home run.
Yeah.
Like, I still think No Way Home is a damn good movie. But the more you watch it, the more like plot holes you realize, and I stand by this. The first like 20 minutes, I think are insufferable because it has a lot of that same annoying humor I hated from Homecoming.
Here's the thing.
I don't think it's 20 minutes. I don't think it's 20. Maybe 5 minutes. Maybe.
Well, here's the thing.
The whole thing is
there's the stuff at the school.
Yes.
The stuff at the school is annoying. I will give you that. However, the chase scene was actually really well edited together. I really liked the chase scene. I thought it was like kind of funny and kind of cute. I
hated the chase scene.
I thought it was like a cute
I did too.
It does kind of have that like ADHD feel to it, which is kind of annoying. I can kind of understand that, but like I don't know, like it just felt like okay, we're starting it off like we're hitting the ground running. Like I kind of liked that. Like
I didn't, but the thing is, it was too whimsical to me. It felt like the fucking Benny Hill chase. I mean, that was the cringy part to me. Everything after that, once he gets to the apartment, everything after that is great. I don't even mind that. I mean, I don't even mind the school because the thing is, yeah, I mean, maybe when the teachers and the administrator are talking, I mean, that was a little weird, but I mean,
fucking Betty Brady.
Honestly, when he starts to walk down the hall and they all raise their phones recording him, that's pretty fucking, they hit pretty fucking hard. It's like, Jesus, this guy, his life is over. His life is fucking over. I mean, you know, and sitting in the police station being interrogated, you know, I mean, it's, you know, shit, they might lose him. And
how can you hate the cameo from fucking Daredevil himself?
Yeah, exactly. But come on, that was great. Jesus.
It is. But it's just a lot of, like, the stuff at the school I thought was cringy. I don't like a lot of the humor, and I hated how once again, the conflict happen. The main conflict happens because MCU Peter Parker has to be a dumbass again. Like, oh wait, no wait, Ned should know. Oh wait, Michelle should know. Oh wait, Aunt May should know. Oh wait, my dog should know. I'm like, shut up!
He's a teenager. Teenagers do stupid shit, Devin. I mean, he's a fucking teenager. I mean, that's what they do. You know, especially dirty teenagers like him. I mean, it fits.
I also did like that reference in this movie. Like, we can't have these dimensional holes all over the place. I already got enough shit from Doctor Strange and that twerp
Exactly.
from 1999. And thank God they fucking got the designation right. Fucking MCU is not Earth 616, you fucking assholes. It's Earth 199999. Fuck off.
Yeah, like these movies.
Suck my taint.
These are movies made by comic book fans for comic book fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's what makes that's what makes these movies so
Kevin
great.
Feige makes Marvel movies for normies.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and now James Gunn is going to make DC movies for normies.
Yeah, I'm still open. I'm still open to give it a chance, but that's just.
I would.
That's
Well,
just
he
me.
is a comic book fan. He did say like he's been a.
I mean, I'm waiting to
comic
see
book
on him.
kid. So
Yeah.
I have skepticism.
So is Kevin Feige. I mean, for crying out loud. I mean,
I have skepticism, but I also have some hope because that's what Superman is all about. Hope.
I mean, I don't.
Starts with an H. Stupid.
I still think it's going to fail because, honestly, other than the animated stuff, I mean, but live action comic book films, I think their time is fading.
Oh yeah, no shit.
Fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's because the MCU we're getting the Marvel fatigue.
Yep.
Because I always say this: the two big things I'm getting sick of with the MCU. I'm sick of the annoying humor, and I'm sick of the unnecessary over reliance on CGI. Like, because like Phase 4 to 5, the CGI is so ugly. Like, shit in Blunder, Spy Kids meets Shark Boy and Lava Girl, She-Hulk. Even in some of the movie, even like a couple of the movies I liked, like Shang-Chi or Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. The CGI is terrible. Even in Guardians Volume 3.
I would say Guardians 3 has some good stuff. Yeah, even Jack hates it.
Jack hates this game. And I don't know why he still plays it.
I guess it's the same as hate watching a show. You're like, I gotta know what happens, even though I really fucking hate this. I guess it's
All right, so
that's why do you think I fucking quit the MCU? I'm like, I'm done with this.
So, any
shit.
theories on Beyond the Spider-Verse? Like anything you guys want to say about?
I agree with
movie?
Mark that they might go with the time travel route. I'm still intrigued to see like if Miguel O'Hara is actually Miguel O'Hara, or if they just want to shit on Spider-Man 2099 for no reason.
I don't think they're doing it for no reason. They're not. I mean, they're not doing it for no reason. Honestly, I mean, they're setting up a conflict between, okay, how do you have to choose between, this one guy, he has this trauma. He lost his entire he caused an entire fucking universe to collapse.
Yo, Anzo, what's up?
What's up, Anzo?
Glad to see you stop by, man.
You know, a guy who just wants a kid who just wants to save his fucking father. You know, I mean, how do you tell somebody that? Why would you, Jesus? You have to let your father die. You cannot seriously expect somebody to do that.
He already lost his uncle.
Exactly. So
Right.
Throw on another dead body. Why not?
I think it's entirely possible that he may wind up being proved wrong. That he may have to lose his father.
Yeah. That could I don't know. Like I'm just intrigued with how everything will go because it's like they made him a vampire for a reason. I feel so. So I don't know. Like, but that's just me. Who knows? I think time travel could be interesting because I did think of that. You put it to words, Mark, because I was like. I was at work today and I was like thinking about this review, so I was like, oh, what are all the things? Like I just kept thinking about the movies.
Thank you for stopping by.
But I kept thinking, like, maybe it would be too much, but maybe they could do time travel and like have him go back in time and have Earth 42's Mile actually become Spider-Man. Like that could be interesting.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that he would just change the past, so he was bitten instead of him. So especially since he's already lost his father. So
right, and remember it, and keep in mind, if he is a vampire, he'll be a better vampire than MCU Blade
and Morbius.
And Morbius.
Especially Morbius.
Right. So we're an hour and 11 minutes in. Overall, do we recommend Across the Spider-Verse?
Yes! Yes!
Yeah, no fucking shit. We've been sucking its dick for over an hour. Like, how can you not reach that conclusion at this point? Come on.
Yeah, come on. But yeah, go check it out in theaters.
Please go see it in theaters as many times as you can. Support this movie. Support your movie theaters. Do it.
Just don't bring babies in the theater.
Because if you do bring babies, I'm gonna turn into a football kicker and just punt those fuckers across the goddamn room.
That's the way I want to get a little shit. Fine.
Exactly.
Or like Hank
I'm gonna kick your ass.
But yeah, phenomenal film. Go watch it. And stay tuned next Saturday for our review of Transformers Rise of the Beast, hosted by Rome.
I'll be hosting.
Yes. Can't wait for that one.
Same here.
That can't be any worse than the last Bayformers movies.
No.
No, hopefully it'll be more like
This is not a Bayformers movie, though. This is the Bumblebee verse.
Yeah.
Stop fucking saying Bayformers.
He is still producing it, though.
Yeah,
but it's not. He's not his film though. So I mean, Tim Burton produced Batman Returns, not Batman Returns, but Batman Forever. That was definitely not a Tim Burton's film.
But
thank God.
But
yeah, I guess you like fucking Jim Carrey's Riddler. Jesus Christ.
No, I actually
or Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
Oh my God,
Two-Face is not good.
No, it's not. It really wasn't.
Still a great movie.
But stay tuned because we got so many more reviews coming.
Yes, we took a couple weeks off, but this month you're gonna get a whole bunch of content coming from us. So get
Summer
ready for that.
Blockbuster season is definitely upon us.
That's
yeah,
right.
Seriously, yeah.
But we're not doing Barbie because fuck you guys.
I'm saying that out of twisted curiosity.
I'm not fucking watching that garbage. Fuck that
I'm
shit.
gonna wind up.
I'm gonna be a big boy and watch fucking Oppenheimer like a real man.
I'm gonna wind up being dragged to it. So yeah, I'm definitely seeing Oppenheimer. Yes, but yeah, I know I'm gonna wind up being dragged to Barbie. So oh well.
All right, so thank you all for watching. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to all of our individual channels in the description below. Thank you all for watching. And always remember, Spot has the greatest power of all. He now has an N-word pass.
Oh, God.